All righty, and let's go.
All righty, where are they? All right. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Dr. Ashley Little. I'm excited to be here. Want to give a special thanks to Laquita and Tamika. Tamika, you want me to? Okay. Tamika, for this opportunity. I will be talking about 5 ways to overcome fear as a writer today. So I want you all to definitely give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can see my screen. Thank you, Joshua. If you give me a thumbs up in the chat that you can see my screen, that will be great. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Tina. Devon, thank you. Everybody could give me a thumbs up to make sure we're on the same page and that everybody can see my screen. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, well, let's get started. So a little bit about me. My name is Dr. Ashley Little. I am the CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, which consists of, my media, book consulting, speaking. I'm the host and executive producer of Creating Your Seat at the Table show, CEO, founder, and editor-in-chief of Creating Your Seat at the Table International Magazine. And I also own 2 publishing companies, Little Publishing, LLC, where I help aspiring authors, new authors, and seasoned authors write their books, share their stories, market and monetize their books, and build their brands. And I also own the first Black-owned publishing company to publish prominent HBCU alumni stories throughout the world, which is the HBCU Experience Movement, LLC. And I'm also a journalist. So I'm excited today to talk to you all about 5 ways to overcome fear as a writer. And I'm gonna be honest, I had more than 5 ways, but I don't want to take up too much time today. But I'm excited to talk to you all about that because this is the year for us to write the book. It's the year for us to write the book. I have had so many clients just this year too that have come to me and said, I've been sitting on my book 5 years, 7 years, right? And what the main purpose was fear and self-doubt. So what we're going to do today is tackle that so we can get past that and write these books. So I'm going to go to my next slide. 1 second. We're going to get there. Bear with me. All right. So the introductions, I just want to, talk about, what we're going to talk about today before I go into the strategies and really, have a conversation, and then we'll have questions at the end. So one of the biggest reasons people do not complete or get started on their book or share their story is fear and self-doubt. A lot of people let fear, it might be trauma, it could be your friends, your family, or you're just scared to share your stories, or you might have writer's block, or you might just don't know where to start. And you let that stop you from writing and getting your story out. And so we want to tackle that today. Also, I want to go to my next point. Feel the hurt of what scares you. For some people, this first step might be expected, but it's also part of the problem. So when you're getting ready to, write your book, address what's going on with you, right? Address, what that fear is and face that fear, right? Tackle that fear face on and keep going. I think a lot of people miss that part because they let either their thoughts in their head stop them, or what somebody said, or, even what they're writing about stop them, right? But we have to face our fears and really tackle it and face our fears right on and get started. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Keep it in your head today. We're going to get started. Writing a book, okay, has a lot of benefits, everybody. Writing a book can change your life and turn you into an authority on your subject and create a speaking platform for you. For everybody that don't know, when you are an author, You are a speaker. So welcome to the speaker world. Okay. Get ready for that. All right. So when you're writing your book and you get your book out here, you are expert in your expertise, right? And you're also a speaker. So be ready to speak when you get that book out there, right? Also start speaking before that because it will give you that authority status for you, and also you will be a speaker as well. And so get ready to, work that out and collaborate with different speaking events to, get your books out there. Also, a book is a business. Remember that. A book is a business. So we're going to start with my first strategy today, which is don't worry if your book isn't perfect the first time. A lot of people let that stop them. For you want to be perfect, right? It has to be perfect. If I don't get it perfect, if I don't have, it, down to the T, I'm not going to write it. Or you start writing and you stop writing, right? And you never go back to doing it because, hey, it's just not where you want it to be. I want everybody today to get that out of your head about being perfect. Do not worry about your book being perfect the first time. The key to writing is getting everything down on paper and getting all your ideas out and finish your thoughts. So for everybody that's going to write a book, we're going to start today. I want you to just start writing and do not worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about editing. Don't worry about anything. Just start writing, getting all these thoughts on paper. Start writing. Don't overthink it. A lot of people overthink this. So we do not have to overthink it. We really don't. Start writing. And it doesn't have to even make sense because you're just getting everything out on paper right now, right? But you can once you get everything out on paper, you'll go back and you'll get your outline together. You'll get your chapters. But right now, the first step is just getting it all out and just not overthinking. And even if you write some things and you get it all out, and you might not want to put it in your book, you have that right? But right now we're getting it all out to see how we're gonna put the book together, to see what's gonna be there and what's not gonna be there, right? And so don't overthink that process. Let the process flow. You also can start journaling. Journaling is a great way to help you get it in the groove of getting it out on paper. Also recording yourself for people who just like, oh, you know what? I just want to, I'm trying to figure out a way to get it all out. If you don't want to journal or start just writing on paper, you can also record yourself as well. I have clients that do that all the time. You can record yourself and you can get it out that way, and then go back, listen, and then start that way. Also, once you get it all down on paper, you can go back and create your outline as stated before and break it down into chapters. Don't worry about creating an outline to start off with, okay? Because you don't know what the outline is going to be. And if you create an outline before that, it's more than likely going to change. So that's why you want to just get all the thoughts down on paper. Do what scares you. It's going to scare you because, hey, it's something new, right? So do what scares you. It's supposed to be uncomfortable, right? This is supposed to be vulnerable. This is supposed to be uncomfortable because we are writing, depending on what you're writing about, it could be very traumatic, right? But it's supposed to feel like that, right? So don't let those emotions and things scare you. Embrace those things, right? I remember when I was writing, I wrote my first book. That was a very emotional thing for me, right? It was my first time being vulnerable to the world, sharing some things that I've never shared with anybody, not even my family, right? And most of the book, I cried writing it, okay? But it was a relief for me, and it was a healing process for me. So embrace that. Don't let that scare you if you different emotions you're feeling while you're writing, or you're getting, or you're tearing up. Don't let those things scare you. Those things are supposed to happen. Okay. Stop revising. Okay. We get into a point when we're writing, we want to revise, right? Stop revising, determine what your cutoff limit would be. You might say, Joshua might say, hey, I'm gonna give myself 3 drafts. And that's it. Give yourself a cutoff limit because you don't want to keep revising. Have yourself a cutoff limit. I'm gonna have 3 drafts. I'm gonna do 3 drafts of this book. I'm gonna do my first draft, get that done, have an accountability partner. You should always have an accountability partner to help you, with it. Okay. And then I'm gonna go back and do my second draft. And each time your draft should be getting better, but don't overdo that. Okay. Set yourself a cutoff limit. 3 is actually a good number for that. Have yourself a cutoff limit when doing your drafts. So the first strategy for everybody that just walked in the room, Don't worry if your book isn't perfect the first time, okay? It's not supposed to be, all right? Number 2, stop thinking about what other people think. We worry about what other people think a lot, right? And that's why a lot of people have not accomplished our dreams or wrote our books because of what somebody else is going to say or what we think somebody else might feel about what we're going to do or our book. It is not for them, right? It is not for them. Worrying about what other people think is the reason why you have not wrote that book, okay? They do not get to validate your journey, your book, your story. So we got to pass that today, right? We do not care what other people think. We're going to write this book. This is your story, your book, your journey. And understand this, your writing will not please everyone. So let's get it in our head today. Your writing will not please everyone. And when you realize that, you can be able to move forward very freely, okay? That it's not going to please everybody. Everybody is not for everybody, though, either. Remember that. It's not for everybody. Everybody has an audience, right? Everybody has an audience. And we have to remember that. We are not writing for people everybody to like us, to like what we write, right? It's for us. It's our journey. It's our story. And I've always said, if I could just change one life, I've done my job. Writing may leave you vulnerable. Get ready for that. It may leave you vulnerable, but remaining silent will keep you shackled mentally and spiritually, right? So think about that when you're vulnerable, when you're writing. Embrace being vulnerable. Embrace being vulnerable so it can really flow, so you can be genuine and really share your story, right? You want to share your story, so vulnerability comes with that. Writing requires practice. Practice, the more practice you get, the better it's going to be, okay? Writing requires practice, so understand that as well, right? We don't always get it right the first time. Most of the time we don't, but we got to keep practicing to get better, right? You got to practice makes perfect. You write your first book, hey, great feeling. You get it out there, you change lives. Hey, more than likely you're going to go write a second book, or you can continue to participate in the collaboration book. So, however you want to continue to write, right? But embrace that and understand that it requires practice. The more I do it, the better off I'm going to get. So I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to beat myself down. Okay. I understand that it takes practice, right? And the more I do it, the better I'm going to be. An example could be, I always have to use my examples when I'm doing presentations, but when you cooked your first meal, it wasn't a gourmet meal, right? It was not a gourmet meal. So let's think about that when we're writing our stories. My first meal was not a gourmet meal. Hey, I had to keep practicing. I don't know about everybody else. So we try to keep practicing. And for our basketball players on here, the first time you played basketball, it wasn't LeBron. You didn't get it wasn't, a LeBron level status. If it was, then congrats to you. But for most people, it was not. So just think about that when you're writing your story. Enjoy the journey. It's a journey, and have fun. I think we get too serious a lot too. Have fun. Have fun when you write, right? Have fun. It's supposed to flow and get them thoughts out there. Laugh at yourself a little bit and make it fun. Make it fun. And most of all, do it scared. Do it anyway. Anytime it scares you, you on to something, okay? It's supposed to scare us. I want everybody to keep in our head today that it's supposed to scare us, but we're going to write that book anyway. We're going to do it anyway. We're going to share our stories. We're going to share our stories. We're going to get past the fears and get it all out on paper. We know it's not going to be perfect. We know it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to write that. We're going to write it and we're going to share it. And then we'll go back and we'll put it together. But the first thing that I want everybody to really write down today is get started. Get started. And also, we definitely are not going to care what other people are thinking about us, because it's our what? It's our book, our story, and it's our journey. It's our journey. All right. Strategy number 3. What am I going to the next screen? Give me a second. Create time for yourself to write. This is key to your success as a writer, is creating time. All right. Create time for yourself to write. Don't get overwhelmed. A lot of people that thought of a book, overwhelmed them. okay? And you shouldn't, okay? So don't let, it overwhelm you. Understand that, as stated before, it takes practice. But we got to get started, right? To see the process and really go through the process and really embrace the process. And for people, it's two different ways you really can, it's a lot of different ways you start, right? You can write your solo book. You can participate in collaboration projects if you're not ready for a full book, right? And get a taste of it, where you'll write a chapter. I'm not sure if people have heard of those, but they're anthologies, right? And that's another way that you can really get in and see how, writing is going to be. You can start out writing blogs, journaling. Just don't get overwhelmed. There's ways to really ease your way into that. So don't let the thought of just writing a book overwhelm you, because really, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And also, I also want to share this. Make sure you have accountability partners, and make sure you have to hire people that can help you. Book coaches, people that can hold you accountable as well. That's important as well when you're on this journey. Okay. Why not hire the people that can help you? Invest in yourself. Block 30 minutes to an hour out each day to write. Okay. Some people aren't, you might be okay. You might be a great writer and this might be your thing. For some people, it might be, you gotta, really ease yourself into that. And so what I would tell people that are on today, that this is their first time and they might be a little scared and they might just they want to ease their way into it. Start out writing 30 minutes a day. I want you to start out writing 30 minutes a day. Dedicate that to yourself. Put it on your calendar. I'm gonna write 30 minutes a day. And then as you continue to progress and make practice, right? Practice make perfect, move it up to 1 hour a day. Get started, get in that rhythm. Get in that rhythm. It's really, once you get in that rhythm, you practice it, you'll get better. Block out all the distractions and focus. All the distractions. That means what people saying, what people think, your own thoughts. But sometimes it's us. It's not always everybody else. Sometimes it's us, right? And so we got to get our mind right in this mindset, right? Positive mindset. We got to think about all the great things that's going to come out of this, right? Let's let all the negative stuff go. We're not going to think about what's going to go wrong. We're going to think about, when I write this book, I get this book out here, this is what's going to happen. All the lives I'm going to change. All the programs I'm going to have, the events I'm going to do, the book clubs I'm going to do, the book signings I'm going to do, the audience I'm going to create, okay? How I'm going to share my story. Those are the things I want you to think about. And we're going to block out all the negativity, okay? And get that mindset right. Our mindset is really important. That's key. You have to have the mindset right. If you find yourself experiencing writer's block, understand that it's okay. Everybody goes through that at some point, right? That they'll have a brain freeze or writer's block. And I want you just to stay calm and take a break and come back and do it after you take your break. Stay calm and take a break. Understand that writer's block is a part of the process. I've had it before myself, okay? You just stay calm and take a break. And it's gonna get done, but it's all about your mindset, right? Back to mindset and how we're in our positive mindset about it. Understand that, hey, it happens, but I'm gonna stay calm and I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna jump right back into it. Break up your writing in chunks. That's another good way for you to write your chapter, okay? I always challenge my clients to write a chapter a week. Okay, I'm one of those people. I like to push my clients. I like to push you off the cliff because I want you to be uncomfortable, because it's supposed to be uncomfortable, right? And challenge you to write a chapter a week, but you can break it up in chunks, okay? So that's another strategy you can use, is breaking your writings up in chunks and holding yourself accountable. For people that, as stated before, if you haven't ever done this before, I want you to start out 30 minutes a day, right? For people who have a little bit more experience, I want you to challenge yourself to write a chapter a week. As the people who are starting out doing 30 minutes to an hour a day, after you've done that consistently for 6 weeks, I want to challenge you to write a chapter a week, right? So we always should be getting better so we can get it done, right? And honestly, with that 30 minutes a day, you actually will, if you do it right, you can actually do a chapter a week by just doing that. It's just about the mindset, right? The more we practice, the more we really understand that why things are happening, that it's part of the process, we can get this done. And understand that you're not by yourself. You're not the first person to have writer's block. You're not the first person that was scared. You're not the first person that worried about what people think. The only difference was we just did it anyway. We just did it anyway. Be creative with setting your setting in your environment. That's important, right? Some people write better with music. You might write better with music, or at the park, at the beach, in the car. Whatever your environment is that keeps you motivated, do it, right? You know, switch your settings up sometimes. Sometimes different sceneries, the more creative it comes out, it might flow better, right? So think about, you know, the different settings that you're in and different environments that you might write better in. That's a great way to switch things up, because sometimes when you're doing the same thing every day, you know, they could get, you know, it could be a lot. So be creative and switch it up. Also, and I know Laquita, I know she speaks about this a lot, but I want to definitely tie this in here. It all ties back to your overall motivation to get it done, right? Whatever motivates you. I will say this: all authors should want to be profitable authors and not broke authors. Okay. So monetization should be on your list of your motivation of why you want to, you know, get your story out and write your book as well, right? You want to be able to also create your book, and it's also a product too, right? Because you want to make money as well. And so that should be on your list that, hey, you want to monetize that. So that should be part of your motivation as well to get it done. Okay. Also, the overall point here that I want everybody to do, as I stated before, is just get started. Get started. Find your motivation. Find whatever it is. As stated, monetization should be part of that list. Okay, it should be profitability, right? Profitable authors, not broke authors. We want you all to be profitable authors. All right. My screen going a little slow, so hold tight. Bear with me. Know who you are writing for is key. Knowing your audience. Know your audience. Know your audience. I cannot say that enough. That's important. What kind of awareness do you want to raise? What kind of awareness do you want to bring by sharing your story, by writing your book? Maybe it might be a suspense book, it could be a self-help book. Maybe you're writing about how to help moms be better moms, how to help dads be better dads, or, you know, maybe foster care or as a whole, whatever it's about. What kind of awareness do you want to raise with your book? So think about that. That should be definitely something that should be high on your list. What kind of awareness do I want to raise with writing my book, by sharing my story? Is it for you as an author? That's a good question to ask yourself. Is this for me? Is it for me as an author? Who is it for, right? Who needs to be more aware is another question. Who needs to be more aware? Who needs to be more aware by you sharing this? How's it going to help them, right? And who needs to be aware of what you're going to share? And is this awareness a prerequisite to the change you're advocating? All right. Those are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways when it's time for knowing who you're writing for. That should be key before you even start writing, to be honest. Writing it down, like, okay, what kind of awareness do I want to raise by doing this? Because that will help you actually start writing too. Because then you're knowing who you're talking to, who you want to reach, who you're doing it for. Those things are important. So if you have not done that, go back and do that and ask yourself those questions. You should be able to answer those questions, because those questions will help you write that profitable book. Rid your mind of failure. And I know I spoke about this earlier, but I want to touch more on it, because the fear, you know, fear comes from a lot of different areas, right? It could come, like I said before, trauma. It could come from self-doubt, low self-esteem. We gotta keep a positive mindset. And the ultimate goal when doing that is just thinking about all of the great things that's going to happen through us taking this next step. A book can definitely change your life. It can change your whole platform, your whole brand as a whole. Okay. So I just want you to think about all of the positive things that's going to come out of you sharing this story. Daily affirmations are great ways to do that too. Just keeping the great way just to keep your mind focused and positive. You know, have your daily affirmations that you're saying. Include, hey, I am going to, if you got to say it every day, I am going to write this book. I will launch this book in April of 2021. Give yourself dates, speak it, manifest it. Manifestation is so important. Affirmations and manifestations. It works, and it will keep that positive mindset, right? Because we do have a lot of things that try to get in the way, especially when we get ready to do something big, right? And writing a book, hey, that's big. That's a big thing. And for some people, it's a healing process. For some people, it's creating a platform for you. For some people, it's just, something that you need to share your story. It's going to be, it's going to be great for people to hear. They'll be able to come to you and know you as an expert in what you're writing. So just think about all the great things that's going to come out of this, right? Because, the negative things are going to come, but we have to outweigh those things by keeping our mind right, keeping our mindset right. And I know all the time we ain't going to always, it is just being natural and just being human, always have, think of the positive, but when those negative thoughts come up, make sure you have, your mind trained to think about, well, what's going to happen when I do it? The end result, right? The bigger picture. And understand that it's part of the process, right? It's part of the process, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to write this book. I'm going to push past this fear. I'm going to push past this writer's block. I'm going to get it done. Think about creative ways you can build your audience around your book too. So, when these things arise up, just think about other ways. Like, when I get this book out here, I'm going to, create an audience around this book. I'm going to create a coaching program around this book. I'm going to do some, create a mentorship program around this book. I'm going to create a book signing. I'm going to speak on different platforms. Think about when those fears come up, just think about all the opportunities that are going to come out of this book, right? Of you sharing your story, Also, keep your mind focused again on all the lives you're going to change. And even if it's just one, you did your job, okay? But also the main part, as stated before, is your book, is your journey, is your story, right? And sometimes people write for them, right? They write for them because this is their healing process, or this is something they want to share with the world because they know that they can help somebody else that might be going through this, right? So everybody has their different reasons, which goes back to your awareness, which is why I want you all to definitely ask yourself those questions when you are getting yourself together and starting out to write your book, about your awareness and knowing who your audience is and who you're talking to and what you're trying to get across to readers. Those things are so, so important because it's going to help you, flow and write the book so that you're making sure you're answering those questions, right? Also, build you a support team. Having that support team is key. Having accountability partners that are holding you accountable, having people there that are pushing you. And sometimes everybody can't go, right? I understand that. And I want you all to understand that everybody can't go, but the people that you can trust to talk about to this, make sure you have those people, right? Because you're going to need those people. You're going to need those people that, push you and to support you, right? And so build you a support team, maybe even if it's just one person, right? Build you a support team because we all need that. Everybody goes through those moments, in the process that, hey, we might want to give up, we might be tired of writing, right? But you want to have that support team there to push you along, that say, hey, this is a bigger picture here. We got to push through this, right? And just having, and for everybody that might not have that motivation or might not have those people, invest in book coaches, invest in experts, people that can help you and hold you accountable with getting your story out. Last but not least, I wanted to, wait a minute, I had a bonus for you all. Let me go back. The bonus is craft your message. Craft your message. I wanted to leave a bonus with you. Craft your message. You must know the message you want to convey. Remember that. You must know the message that you want to convey. You have a burning desire. This is another question to ask yourself. You have a burning desire to tell people what? What do you want to tell people? Because some people, hey, you might write a self-help book, a fictional book, hey, it might be a kid's book, or it could be a how-to book, right? So what do you have a burning desire to tell people? Do you want to teach people how to do, if you were write a how-to book, do you want to teach people how to, build websites? That's a how to build a website in 90 days. If you were writing a how-to book, right? So what do you want to tell people there? What type of strategies do you want to use? What type of facts are you going to have in there to back that up? What type of reviews you're going to have? How are you going to get it across? What type of message are you trying to convey to that audience, right? Or if you're doing a self-help book, maybe it's to help people overcome fear, right? So what do you want readers to get from that? You know, what is your story? You know, what have you went through that you can share with your readers of how you overcame fear? What examples can you share? You know, what is the end result? What was the solutions that you can give them to help them overcome it? Think about what you want your message to convey and the burning desire that you want to be able to tell people. Also, when you're writing your book, ask yourself, do you want to help people? Do you want to help people? That's a question. Also, for people that are, you know, writing that have kids or just in general, or looking to have a family or just in general, do you want your kids to know about your message, right? Because this is legacy. When you're writing a book, it's legacy. It's going to be here when you're not here. It's a legacy. So think about that. What problem, most of all, what problem are you solving? Ask yourself that. That should be definitely at the top of your list too. What problem am I solving? What problem are you solving? And also, last but not least, become an expert in the area and make your book stand out. What's unique about your book? Okay, become an expert in that. Because once you launch your book, once it's out there, you'll be an authority figure. Okay, you'll be an expert in your field. Okay, so if you're writing about mental health, that gives you a platform. Okay, so think about those things. Those things are so important when it comes to crafting your message. Do not forget to craft your message. To end my presentation, I wanted to definitely share again, as I started off, write the book. And I want to end with a quote by Les Brown because I think it's so valuable for this message. The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step. Keep with the problem or determined to carry out their dream by Les Brown. So please write your book, share your story. We don't know we're going to be here tomorrow or next year. So write that book, get it out here. Let's stop sitting on our dreams. Let's stop sitting on our stories because our stories matter and it will change lives. It will change lives. And understand that your story is unique and it's important and it needs to be shared with the world. And we're not going to let fear stop us. We're going to start writing. We're going to get started. We're going to get started because we understand that we're not going to be perfect, that we're going to have to practice, that practice makes perfect. We're going to ignore the distractions. We're going to invest in ourselves as well. We know we need accountability partners, or we know we need a book coach. We're going to invest and get us the help that we need to get our stories out there. So I would like to thank you all for attending my session. I really hope that you all found value because I could go all day with different ways, but I wanted to keep it down to 5 different ways. But I hope these strategies definitely help someone that was listening to take that next step to write your book, to understand that we all go through fear, but the difference is we just did not let it stop us. We kept going. We did it anyway. We didn't care about what was going to come after that. We took that jump and we wrote that book, right? And we shared our story. And so thank you all. If you all would like to connect with me, you all can go to my website at www.ashleylittlenterprises.com. You can email me at info@ashleyaLittle.com. I'm on Facebook at Dr. Ashley Little. I'm on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. And remember, this is your year to write the book. Thank you. All right. Thank you. If you all had any questions, definitely ask me some questions. I would love to. You all are welcome. Thank you. I'm sending all of the messages in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm glad I brought value to you all. But definitely ask me some questions if you have any. Does anybody have a question? Welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, affirmations. I'm thinking, let me see who that was. Carlisa, absolutely. The affirmations work. They do work. It gets you in that rhythm and that positive mindset. The more we do, it's just like writing, right? It's just like writing. The more we practice, the better it's going to be. I'm so glad you all got a lot of value from it. Absolutely. Thank you. You know what? I'm expecting to see. Let me see how many people are on here today. And if I can get the number right, I think let me see if I can see the number. But I'm expecting everybody that's on here today to write their book. If you have not done it, I expect for you to get the book out. I expect for you to reach out to Tamika, Cleta, get the book written, okay? I expect for you all to give us all these great, reviews and, accountability partners. We're expecting to see these amazing books that are going to be birthed in this year 2021. What is a realistic timeline for a first-time novelist? So Joshua, my question would be for you. I wouldn't think about the timeline right now. I would just get started, right? That would be my first thing. But my question is, what is your timeline? When do you want your book out? You can come off mute or type it in the chat. For Joshua. Joshua, if you can type in the chat, you don't have one? Okay, great. Well, that's even better, okay? What I would tell you to do is just get started with the right, okay? I want you to get started and just start it right. And once you get everything out on paper, you go back and you put everything together, your outline, your chapters, then give yourself a launch date, okay, of when you want it out. But we want to get started first. I would recommend you get started first. But for somebody that's doing a novel, honestly, a timeline for a solo book, you can have a solo book out in 90 days. And some people have done it in less than that, right? But a good timeline, I would say, would be 3 to 4 months. Give yourself, that. So say if you started now, this is ready to be March, we'll say March. So I would say you started in March, you can have your book out by June, if not before then. I hope that answered your question. Because what I don't want is people saying, oh, it's going to take me 6 months to a year. It does not. It does not. It does not. Okay? You can get your book out there. It's just all about holding yourself accountable. It also goes back to investing in book coaches, investing in accountability partners that can help you if you don't have that type of motivation for yourself. Okay? So if you need, some people need that extra push, right? But hey, it doesn't take you 2 years to write a book. It don't. It does not. But what I want you to do, Joshua, though, today is get started. Hey, timeline I will give you is to have that book out by June. You probably can have it out before then, but we're going to just show you some grace there. But go ahead and get it started, and let's get that book out this year. Do we have any more questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, if we don't have any more questions, I look forward to connecting with you all. I hope you all have got a lot of value from my presentation today. Thank you all for the kind words, and I look forward to reading your amazing book. I look forward to reading these stories and all the great things that you're going to do to change lives this year. So I will turn it back over to Tamika.
Dr. Ashley, thank you so much for being a part of CreativeCon 2021. Thank you for all the clubhouses that you have been a part of. Thank you for all the energy that you always bring to anything that we've ever seen you on or been a part of together. Tamika and I will reach out to you after we finish with CreativeCon as a whole.
Awesome. Well, thank you both for this amazing opportunity. And thank you, everybody that attended today. I challenge you, write the book. Everybody have a great day.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to give you the host rights back.